Good evening, mga kalaro, and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro channel that talks about a different kind of game. The reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bistak Joel Parcon, and with me as always is Juxta Potato, Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
Hello, fellow humans.
You may notice that Jao is conspicuously dressed right now, and I'm sure he will talk about it later. Anyway, also with us is the man with the puns, Martin Essential. Martin, how are you doing?
Ready to talk about Survivor and ready to finish the story. We'll
Yes.
be talking about this episode.
Yes, wrestling.
Wrestling.
Line, Jow.
Fine. Sorry. I think the word a good word that we're using is juxtapose.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is your episode.
juxtapose.
Juxtaposition.
Yes.
Juxtapo episode.
Yes, when I heard that,
Juxtapo episode.
when I heard that in the episode, I was like, I did the
Yeah.
whole Leonardo DiCaprio thing. Yeah. Anyway, for
He
tonight,
said the thing. He said the
yes,
thing.
he said the thing. They listened to us. Anyway, we are going to talk about episode 5. Episode 6 of Survivor season 46. Yes, because of the title of the next episode. But anyway, the title of this episode was Cancel Christmas. But before we begin, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs whenever we talk Survivor, you can always go wherever you get your podcast and search for Council of Titos, and you'll find us there. And so, without further ado, let's begin. All right. So, first things first, Martin, before we started recording, you told me something about how you felt about this episode.
Yeah, it was I. And there's nothing for me to talk about, but I think if we discuss here right now, there might be something we can pull out here. Or teeth, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just there.
when I was watching the episode, or after I finished watching the episode, the word that came to mind was a very sort of Gen Z kind of word. This
Does it
episode
start
felt
with
kind of mid.
Yeah, it's
You know,
mid. That, yeah, mid.
Yeah.
It feels mid.
This episode felt kind of mid. Although with that being said, I do have a lot of thoughts, but they don't fall into our sort of regular highs and lows kind of structure. So
Mhm.
for our,
Yeah,
you know,
I think that for tonight, we can do away with the highs and lows thing because
So
me as well. I don't really quite have a lot of highs and lows. I have thoughts. Yes, same as
Yeah.
Joe. I have thoughts, but I'm not quite sure if they're really high or low. There are thoughts that came to mind while I was watching as well. So yeah,
so hold on, guys.
share your
So just like the title, we're gonna cancel the format this episode.
yeah. We're canceling the
Yes.
format for this just for this episode.
Just for this episode.
Just
guys.
for this episode.
well, we will see. We will see. We will see.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully, just for this episode. But one thing I am grateful for is that Venus didn't get voted out.
Yes, thank God.
Yes, we
Mother
still get the
Venus.
drama.
Mother Venus.
We still get the drama, and yeah, we
Oh my
also.
God.
And I like how well because I've ever since I started seeing that she live tweets apparently while the episode is happening. She's also come to the defense of I think some of the other castaways
Oh.
because apparently some of the other castaways have been receiving threats. I don't know why, but yeah. Good on her. Good on this young woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. Well, yeah.
It's not a new thing, but yeah, guys, it's just a reality show. Don't have to send that to
Mhm.
us. That's it.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not that podcast. Who's gonna know about that like the next 5 minutes.
But you know, with that being said, right? It's like she seems to be doing the right stuff. Like
Mhm.
for that's the thing that I find interesting about this particular episode, and like a lot of my thoughts revolve around it. The idea that like Survivor is like the meta of Survivor is constantly changing because there's some things that there are some bits of strategy that kind of change around depending on the people that are there. So like Venus, I think, was, saying the right things. She had sort of the right strategic play going on. It just wasn't necessarily working with this group of people in this situation. Similar to uh similar to how Green Tribe Siga, similar to
Mhm.
how Siga in another season, Siga Strong might have worked.
Mhm.
Actually.
Right, Siga Strong as a strategy might have worked if they managed to find the crack in Nami and sort of exploit that as, a single Siga voting block, and pull in Yanu, right? But
Mhm.
then it wasn't a strategy that worked with this particular group of people in this particular game. So yeah. And also, like, just like in Survivor China, which
Mhm.
is kind
Okay.
of part of the explanation for this stupid Chong stuff. Um, Venus is trying to pull a Xian.
Mhm.
But she's not in China.
Xian?
Yeah, she's in Thailand.
Oh,
Oh, who was the one in China?
was it she in China?
No, bro. Um,
Well,
it's
Survivor
the
historian.
Fiji. Fiji.
Oh yeah, she
Fiji
was
was
in
in Thailand.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Well, close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Oh, that's okay.
Close enough.
Close enough. But yeah, she was
Close
kind of
enough.
pulling a Fiji, but it's not working. Like,
Because she
or
wa- she was she was
she,
like Chinese,
yeah.
right? She was from like Taiwan or something, right? I
I'm
got
not
that
gonna
right at
answer
least.
that.
I got
I'm
that
not
right at least,
answering
right?
that, man.
I got that right at least, right?
You're on your own.
Let me look that up. Let me look that up. Let me look that up. Let me look that up.
Yeah.
Let me look that Xian Huang, Thailand,
All
All
stars.
Stars. She was born in Taiwan.
There you go.
There we
There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she did a Xian.
Does she?
Yeah.
Like she tried to say, "Hey, Boston Rob and Amber have a thing here and might vote us out." Lex didn't listen. And guess
Mm.
what color they had in their original tribe? Green, like Siga. But this
Mm.
time, oh wait, no,
Yeah,
Venus
because
is orange. Damn it,
Venus is in
Nami.
orange.
Damn it. And they didn't get voted out, so good on them.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about Mo. What do you think? Because there've been like talks about online about how well I think that the fact that Mo pointed out that she got into Survivor because of Aubrey. A lot of people are saying that's what did her in. Do you think?
Really?
Do you guys? Yeah, yeah. That's what did her in because of the whole thing that Q said. Like
Yeah.
if you're a fan of Aubrey that and you compare your gameplay with Aubrey and you want to pattern your gameplay after Aubrey, that means that you're bound to set people up, right? And do
I
all of those
would
things.
agree. But who does he compare himself to?
I don't know.
Jeremy. Which one
Mm.
of those guys won?
No, but it's
J-
not about the winning, but it's about the scheming. Aubrey was a
Yeah.
schemer. Jeremy wasn't as much of a schemer.
Well, it's my thought on it is it's a little bit of the
like, I
the
don't
the
know,
the, the
Q.
cart
I don't know.
leading the horse, right? If
Hmm.
Yeah,
if if that makes sense, right? Like
yeah.
it's just like you're gonna find a way to
Mm.
retroactively kind of justify your
Yeah.
Your
um
vote
your
out,
your
like
your
I
thoughts.
don't
The figure of speech in Filipino that comes to mind is yung kung gusto may maraming paraan, kung ayaw may
yeah,
maraming
Hmm.
dahilan. Like, if you already kind of have your mind set on we're getting
voting
rid of
her
this
out.
person, then we're going
Like,
to find
yeah.
any reason to get rid of that person.
Hmm.
I
Um,
I mean
not only in
also
Survivor,
yeah,
but
in life.
in life, in the workplace.
Yeah.
I feel like she could have said Wendy from Survivor Palaus. He would still be voted out.
Yeah.
Like
Why? What did Wendy from Survivor Palau do? For
never
those
made
who
it
are
to
like
the
me, that aren't quite
sorry, not Wendy.
good at.
Wanda. You know
Okay, so what did Wanda do?
She annoyed people. Well, she actually encouraged people because he was the one singing with the small guitar, and she was singing Survivor. She
Small
was one of
guitar?
the
You mean a ukulele?
ukulele, and she
Okay.
got quote unquote voted out before they got split into two tribes. A famous podcast called Rob Has a Podcast a few years before
Really, that's
here.
famous.
Yeah, it's kind of famous. It's the Rob that didn't win. I don't know. You guys listen to something about nothing of buffs. I guess that's famous
Mhm.
too. But anyway, they have this thing called the Wand Off. They make song parodies of Survivor, especially the episodes. And that's the legacy of this girl named Wanda. So even if Mo said Wanda, he was like, "You're a lyrical genius? God, I gotta vote you off."
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
you can
Like
make anything, man.
she could have
She'd
pulled out
still
the
get
most
voted
like
off.
random
Yeah.
person.
Mhm.
Come on.
She could have, she could put out the
No, but
most like,
I mean,
you know,
in general, I do think that Aubrey is held in that kind of a regard, that she's a very strategic player who will scheme to get ahead. That's why she was always viewed as a threat, right? In all of the seasons that she was in, right?
yeah, yeah.
And actually, my question to you: do you think that because, be, I think that Mo related with Aubrey, not necessarily in terms of gameplay. I think she related with Aubrey
Social.
because no, I think that she related with Aubrey because they were both geeky. And do you think? My question is: do you think that because of that stereotype, she's geeky, Aubrey was geeky, therefore she's also scheming? Do you think she was stereotyped?
Uh,
Do you think it's
Probably.
possible that that's what people thought?
Yeah. I mean,
Mm,
that's
uh,
the thing about Survivor as a game, right? It's like, you know how something that my brother says
yeah.
to old people or about old people is that sometimes old people will take half truths and turn them into full lies,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's kind of what Survivor is like. You work with what little information you have and extrapolate out as much as you can from it, whether right or wrong, and that sort of leads into all of the other Survivor things like perception being reality, etc.,
That
etc.
one.
So um I'm not saying that it's right or wrong that being geeky necessarily leads to strategy, but if you are not given very much time, and this is doubly so
Mhm.
in
Six
in
days.
contemporary Survivor, um, which apparently isn't real Survivor according to the slip of the
Yeah.
tongue of what's his name, know it all's guy.
Steve
Uh,
Fishbach.
Yeah, Fishback, according to
Fishbach.
Fishback. Like his little slip of the tongue there. Like in real Survivor. I mean in old school
In my
Survivor.
days. In my
Right.
days.
But yeah, like especially now in like this contemporary Survivor where time is even more of the essence, it becomes more important to be able to make those half truths into
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you
Yeah.
know or to take that little nugget of information and kind of expand that out to as much as it can be expanded to.
Yeah. To weaponize it even, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
think that we had some discussions about this in previous episodes, John and Martin, like how a lot of the better game players are able to actually do that. They find that
yes,
one small thing about a person, and then they're able to use that in order to put that person in a bad light, right? And
yeah,
in the end,
Yeah.
get that person voted out. Yeah,
yeah. What's his name did that really well. Um,
Jam Jam, right? Wasn't it
uh,
Jam Jam who did that?
I'm
Recently?
thinking of Omer Zahir, right? That
Mm.
that that one episode
Oh, yeah.
where we were all like, "Oh my God, Omer is like a survivor savant," right? Like he took
Mhm.
that one little sliver of information and created an entire narrative around it. And I think that's kind of like what Q at least gave
Kind of did.
us,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it was necessarily deciding in why Mo eventually got voted out, but it certainly was something that we were told was one of the reasons that she was voted out.
Yeah.
At least that's what the producers were saying. And if it's something that flimsy, they really didn't have very much to go on, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You know.
It I'm also guessing that it must have been a confluence of that, like a Q planting the seeds of the possibility of Mo being a strategic player because of who she wants to pattern her game after. I mean, we've seen several examples of this where like castaways would say, "I want to pattern my game after this or that or this or that," but they never actually end up doing it. But because Q was able to find that small nugget of that, and then aside from that, it was also Mo starting to panic because she heard her name out there, and she's coming from a tribal where she was out of the vote, right? So she's coming from a position where she's like she's out, she's on the particular basically out on the outs from her original tribe, and then she suddenly hears her name that's being floated out there, right? And I think that it this goes into how, and the fact that it was, as we're shown, it's sort of Q who is leading the charge. It For me, it shows how Yan is actually ahead of the rest of the other two tribes in terms of gameplay. I mean, they've
Yeah.
been through hell, and everyone else have been just too safe, right?
Yeah.
Had this, I mean, after the first vote, Yanu was sort of like this. Like everyone was a little tense, right? But now they've gone through hell, and now, I mean, Kenzie said they're cast iron. They've already been seasoned. Everyone else is still store bought stainless steel,
What was
Teflon, yeah,
non-stick or
Teflon
Teflon? I
non-stick.
can't remember
Yeah,
what the exact
yeah.
phrasing was, but yeah.
So yeah,
By the way,
it's yeah.
as somebody that cooks, and this is completely off on a tangent, do you prefer cast iron or stainless
Or
steel?
non-stick. Well, if
Not
I
non-stick, not non-stick.
well,
Cast iron or stainless steel,
if I
or carbon
could,
steel.
if I could, I actually, if I said, if I had like a, if I had like an actual burner with
Yeah.
fire, I would prefer. I think I would prefer stainless steel for everyday cooking. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard to use cast iron for everyday cooking, but if
Oh,
you're like cooking steak, okay, cool,
Oh,
cast
cast.
iron. Yeah,
yeah,
cast
Yeah,
iron's the way to go.
it
Yeah.
holds heat so well.
Yeah. It's just the chore of cleaning it after.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Actually, that's why I like carbon steel. Like, screw cleaning it.
and I take your
You just kind of
advice
wipe
on
it
that.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just kind of wet it and wipe it down. You don't have to clean it up.
Mhm.
That way, the what's it sticks. That way, the seasoning like sticks.
Ah,
Mhm.
Carbon steel. Stainless
Yeah.
steel is annoying. Stainless steel is
ugh,
annoying to work
yeah.
with, but it's quite
But it
responsive.
does the
Anyway,
job.
yeah, it's a lot more responsive than like cast iron, stainless
like
steel.
Mhm.
It's like the
I do
purple
most of my cooking
tribe.
on stainless steel.
Yeah. That's why.
Just
Right?
non-stick.
And
Non-stick.
no, non-stick. I mean, I sort of, I don't know. Are there any like carbon steel or there? I don't think there's
Is
any
there?
stainless steel that
Yeah.
works with induction cookers, right?
I'm not sure. I have
Right? I don't think so.
I have a burner,
It's
so
burner, right? They all work
Has to
with
be a
burners.
burner.
That's why I have to cook with what do you call this, non-stick, because I don't know if there are any other pans that actually work. If any
I'm
of
pretty
you,
sure they have stainless steel. I'm
I
pretty
hope
sure.
so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Is this the spin-off for our next
Does it
podcast on
does it
Laro-Laro?
stick
Maybe.
or not?
Maybe.
Joe
Right?
and Joel cooks.
Yeah.
Because like your hashtag when he posts all of your like food porn is Joel cooks. It's like,
We can do that. We can do that. We can think about that. But again, we're being Titos, so we veered
Yeah.
away from the topic at hand. But yeah,
For those who are not informed, this is the Council of Titos, right?
yeah,
So
yes, yes. So
we have
we
to,
tend to do that.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
yeah, cute.
yeah. I wanted to go back to Ja. You were saying something about perception.
Yeah,
Then
perception.
you were saying something about the time, about them not really getting enough time, especially in this the fake version of Survivor, as Stephen Fishbach said. What I do appreciate from this episode in particular is that we're shown, and again, this is the result of the 90-minute runtime. We are shown more of the bonding session
Mm,
when they first come to the same beach, because we
yeah.
didn't used to get that. They'd actually uh, go into pre-merge right at the challenge, right?
Yeah.
The drop your buffs is announced at the challenge. It's not announced before the challenge. This time they were told drop your buffs. You're going to a new whatever space, and then you got to hang out there, right? That was pretty cool. It's a different.
Yeah.
It's something new. It's something different. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, in sort of relation to that, something that I really enjoyed was Hunter pretending to be excited about the whole drop your buffs thing. I found that hilarious.
I made
Yeah.
out as if I was doing a jet thing, and then I was actually running to find the clue. Yeah.
Is that as Carson? Is that as? No, just kidding. It's all
Yeah. Uh, just a question.
right.
Do you remember if it was time bound in that, like, he had to find it before the other tribes got there, or was it time bound that, like,
Before
once the
the
other tribes
boat
had got there, it would
lands.
be, eight more eyes, 16 more eyes, like looking at him, trying to find an advantage that's like just there.
I feel it could be the latter, but I feel like he's trying to. Because I didn't pay attention to. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't pay attention much to that thing while he was like, "Why is he sitting down trying to get an idol?"
Yeah,
Was
because
there
he
anything
said,
in the
because
letter?
because because he the way that he was
Yeah.
talking in confessional, he made it seem as though it was he had to get it before the other tribes got
Mm,
there.
yeah.
But
I tend to agree with Mart. I think it's because he didn't want the extra eyes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, because especially if the key is located in such a prominent space, it was in the
yeah,
steps,
Oh
right?
yeah.
How would he be able to give an excuse about, okay, I just want to vibe? Well,
yeah,
you've got like all of these eyes looking. I mean, all around. I don't think that there's a lot of space where they can actually go around, right?
yeah.
So he needed to do that, and I think what was it? Wasn't there also a something in the parchment where the instructions were gonna change uh
Oh, if they
if merge
arrive.
happens? Yeah,
Yeah.
if merge
I
happens,
I think so.
and he
That's why
hasn't gotten the idol yet or
Mm,
something.
okay. Yeah, so I guess that makes
I
sense.
guess that
That
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Like that it's a game thing. It's a game
Yeah,
thing.
Mhm.
But either way, he has his idol. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he has his
And he
idol.
was he was completely safe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that challenge group. I mean, I don't think that there was
I don't
any
think he's gonna
question
lose.
there.
Yeah.
I
Right.
was really hoping. I was really hoping that they would like that the other team would win
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
because it was really close.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Actually,
they Venus was talking about how like it was, one of those underdog whatevers, and they were like less than a panel. There was less than a panel's difference between them. Like they were halfway done with their part of the puzzle or their panel when the winning tribe or when the winning group finished. So it was like, yeah, that was pretty damn close. And it would have been pretty cool to see, the group of Venus winning. Um, but alas and alack, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
I want your thoughts on this. Would the Shillelagh of Time had been like really cool in this moment? Because that's been some of the chatter online as well. Like it would have been really cool if there was the Shillelagh of Time here, where there's such a dominant group, and
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, um, they end up reversing time.
Shillelaghing it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
shillelagh.
Uh, I think that the Shillelagh of Time was a broken mechanic. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been discussing it. The Shillelagh of Time is a broken mechanic, but if yeah, so I don't know. It would have been a scapegoat
Yep.
if it was there. Like, right?
Mm.
If say Tiff would have
Smash.
done the Shillelagh, right?
Mhm.
She wouldn't have she wouldn't choose which team to be a part of, but she uh yeah, because otherwise she would have been with the in the vote, right? Well, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Those are the conditions of the Shillelagh of Time. You
You
Um,
will
go with
be at the
you
Exile Island or
right?
something.
You go to Exile Island.
Yeah. You live
Oh
there
no,
overnight.
what was it? Well,
it
how
was
did Shillelagh happen?
I remember
um
Erica was stranded in an island.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
but before that,
it was there were two
She draws
people.
a rock.
There were two people. There were two people, and one of them was like one of them was forced
Okay.
to go on to Exile Island. Remember
Mhm.
Erica and what's his name? Um South Asian guy. Um
Nasir.
Nasir, yeah. Right? It was between Nasir and Erica. And they ended up sending Erica, and she was not safe, but by smashing the hourglass, she subsequently became safe.
Mhm.
Right? That's part of what made the Shillelagh of Time broken. Right?
Hmm.
The fact that it's an absolute no-brainer because you're always going to pick safety over anything else.
Yeah.
So, there was something to be said about if they were going to do the rework the Shillelagh of Time, which I'm glad they aren't.
Yeah.
A way to like balance it a little bit better would be to make the person that goes onto that island safe no matter what. That way, like they can choose whether or not to smash the hourglass, right?
Hmm.
But you know, that's neither here nor there. It was just a topic that was brought up in some conversations on the internet. Um, but sort of related to that, what do you guys think of having a schoolyard pick instead of drawing rocks?
I think that they should have done that. Yeah, I think that
Would
they
have
should
been
have
more
done that.
even. Yeah.
Yeah.
An additional layer of strategy in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you choose your alliances? You wanna keep your alliances safe, or if you don't choose your alliance, does that paint you in a bad light, right? Because then your alliance mates would be like, oh, why did you choose me? And with the players of Survivor US, quite petty, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can be really petty. Huh?
Good.
Might be function the pettiness I argue is a function of the compressed time
Mm,
because you
that
don't
can be.
have right you're forced to make judgments on stereotypes.
Hmm. And
That's what
precisely why
makes
Mo was Mo was supposedly voted out.
that's what makes Survivor so interesting
Hmm.
because you're forced to make snap judgments on stereotypes. Uh, yeah, but I think this is something that like this is one of my thoughts. I really don't like how this part of the game has become quite predictable.
Mm,
Like um, this mergatory has become kind of predictable. It would be nice, some seasons they draw rocks, other seasons they do a schoolyard pick.
mm,
Like that's something that I'm seeing in the reaction to in the reactions to all of these different game mechanics that are coming in. Like people are saying, "Oh man, we should do away with the final three and do a final two. We should do away with two or three tribes and have it two tribes. Oh, we should do away with this whole drawing rocks thing."
mm,
But like change it up a little bit every
Yeah.
now and then. Some seasons you have like
Have rocks.
tribes of two, other
mm.
seasons you
Yeah,
have tribes of three, some seasons you have a final two, other seasons you have a final three. That way it becomes a little bit more difficult to plan. But
yeah.
this mergatory part of the game has become quite predictable in that way.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Venus kind of got it right? You have a cabal of 7 people that just decide everything.
Mhm.
It could have been they could have changed that up a little bit if they had a schoolyard pick at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but the cabal would still be the same. I mean, the
Yeah.
winners would still basically choose who would
Still
go out,
goes
right?
home.
Not
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
not unless whoever's the unsafe side has some ties to the safe side. Yeah.
Yeah.
This idea just came to mind. How about this? Instead of a schoolyard pick or a draw rocks, how about this? It is still basically an individual challenge, but so everyone is playing for themselves, but the ones who are safe, it's not. So it's not a technically it's not an individual challenge, but it in a group of 12,
Oh.
the final 6, say for
The
example,
final
it's an
six, yeah.
endurance challenge.
Yeah.
It's an endurance
Mm.
challenge, and those who last, it's the last 6 who last, like they're the ones who get the merge buffs right away. And the one who gets who lasts the longest gets an even bigger prize, a Denny's or something. I don't know.
Nice.
All right. So yeah,
Actually, yeah,
something like that.
That would be
yeah,
nice. I
that
like
that sort of,
that.
and it has to be an absolutely brutal challenge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the earn the merge challenge is usually like a tough one.
Yeah,
Like
and like what Jeff
extremely
said, you're gonna have
taxing.
to give me everything you got this time.
Yeah. 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 Challenge was so close.
Mhm.
That was the thing that really shocked me. It was like oh we were all being prepared for like an absolute blowout, but when you saw just how close it was at the end there, it was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's something here that I have that is very clearly a high, by the way,
All right.
and it has to do with the challenge. The fact that everybody had to do the puzzle,
Mm.
or that everybody needed to have a hand in the puzzle,
Yeah.
like that was, um, yeah, I like that. Like everybody had to do everything.
Yeah. It was yeah, and yeah, I had it noted somewhere as well. Yeah, it's good that they everyone participated, and the weaknesses of some in puzzles. Well, nobody. Well, which it was in the purple group. It was the third. Who was third again?
Um,
I
The
can't
third
remember.
pair, but it was the third pair in the purple group that allowed Venus and who was with her.
is it
Anyway,
there or something?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Venus and Ben. It was yeah, allowed them to catch up, right? Because it was sort of like they were ahead. Purple was ahead, and then all of a sudden, orange was like catching up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because the puzzle is supposed to be the great equalizer, but when you have, you know, when you have people like Carson, who presumably, who presumably is a
Practiced.
lot more used to doing puzzles of this nature, and you put him on, you know, the puzzle, then like it ceases to become the great equalizer, at least in terms of, you know, the overall progress of the race. It's not something
Mm.
that slows them down, but
Yeah,
is
right.
an equalizer in a manner of speaking. Like you don't need to have, you know, you don't need to have the big physical threats in order to do well. But you know, it becomes it becomes rather polarized, where like for the puzzle you have like the smart dude, or the puzzly type dude, the Aubrey type person, haha.
Mm.
And like for the physical part, you have like your Jonathan Young type person, and it just becomes polarized like that. Whereas if you have everybody do everything, then it kind of evens itself out, which is I guess good for game balance. Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
eh, I
It
don't know.
works. I like it.
I actually have thoughts about game balance and like Survivor, but I don't know if this is the right venue to put it, because there's nothing in this particular
Yeah.
episode that
Yeah.
uh that
That
kind
that
of
showed
hooks
the
into it.
imbalance, right?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, there
yeah,
was. I mean, the fact that, well, in the end, it didn't quite. It didn't. I mean, it still became really close, but I mean, looking at the lineups, and at first, right, it was sort of imbalanced.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, right. I'm just gonna put this on. I'm just gonna put this on film, I guess. Um, when we talk about game balance, like we remember that that the game exists over a period of time, right? And um I'm not sure whether or not people are comfortable with having a situation where at different points of the game different attributes become imbalanced. So, like this is say how StarCraft is balanced, right? Like at certain parts of the game, like Zerg is always going to win. At certain parts of the game, Protoss is always going to win. At certain parts of the game, Terran is always going to win, assuming everybody plays just a standard game of StarCraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if in the super late game, like, you um in the super late game, Terran, no, not Terran, Protoss
Protoss, yeah,
has a death
has an
ball, right?
advantage.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. In towards that sort of mid game, if your Zerg is set up properly, like Zerg is probably gonna do it. So you have these
Hydroelectricity.
periods within the game where one race is stronger than the other, at least with StarCraft. And I can kind of see a parallel in Survivor. And this is a rather unpopular opinion in current Survivor, to say that it's okay for things to be out of balance at different points in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the sort of big conversations is always at the beginning of the game, the women are disproportionately voted out,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? At the
Yeah.
beginning of the game, women are disproportionately voted out, and that's always a talking point. But that could just be a function of game balance, because once we get into the merge, the men are
Oh,
disproportionately voted out.
Yeah.
And so, like, there are different, um, what do you call it? You have
advantages.
different advantages at different points in the game. And like, I don't know if that's something that we as a survivor community are okay with or not okay with. That we have imbalances at different points in the game. Because,
Mm.
I think that's good game design. Or that's
Yeah. That's of
acceptable.
course
That's acceptable game design.
acceptable game design. Yeah.
You know.
Because unless you've got, have we ever had like a really physically dominant female? No, I don't think so, right?
Shampoo? No, I don't think shampoo.
No, not Shampoo. Shampoo was not physically dominant. Come on.
She had
What
a
we've not
dream, Joel, that the guy
we
who
haven't
wasn't voted out gets voted out.
we haven't
That's
had like
strong.
we haven't had like a strength challenge beast, a strong challenge beast. No, a challenge beast for strength challenges.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
a woman,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
right? They were always in the
US Survivor,
endurance.
US
Yeah.
Survivor hasn't had a Kirby
Yeah,
from Australian Survivor, basically. Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah. I
Kirby is
think
from Survivor Australia, and she's like a what?
like
She's a rugby coach. Is she a rugby coach or
yeah. I,
yeah?
th- I
whoa.
think she
She's a
was an
coach.
AFL player.
Holy
There
I
you go.
shit.
think she used to be a rugby
Uh,
player. No, sorry, an Aussie rules football, which is a different thing, apparently. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
understand. No, I don't understand
but
how.
anyway, so
Yeah,
yeah, we've I don't know if we've ever had that Survivor US. So
yes.
yeah, and it's always the case. Like in when you're in tribes, you want to
It's
keep
the dudes. Yeah.
the strong people, because you want your tribe to win in physical challenges. But when we merge, those physical challenges become the threats. They
The
become
threat.
that's why they become the targets. Right. So yeah, you're right, Joe.
It's the game.
it's a yeah, it's because of the game.
but then, um,
What's your
we
late
we
game
have
then?
we have
With the-
but then we have a weird, like, emerging, what's it called, emergent gameplay sort of trend
Mhm.
coming on, where um the people that haven't gone to tribal in the tribe stage of the game are at a little bit of a disadvantage
Yeah,
once they come into the
absolutely.
merge. So like there could be a world where the strategy is to like go to tribal once or twice, but I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
If
Yeah.
I mean when, sorry, not if. When Kenzie wins, uh
Oh,
Yeah,
winner pick.
it's
the
his
dragon
My
canonical.
canonical winner pick.
or the mermaid.
So when Kenzie wins, there's a strong case to be made there that, or there's a case to be made that, the weak tribe at the beginning is the one that's going to produce the one
Uh,
that is going to produce the winner, right? Because we've seen that twice.
mhm.
We've
Yeah,
seen that with Jam Jam in the
Jam
new
Jam.
era. And in the new era, we've seen that with Jam Jam, and we've seen that with, and we will be seeing that with Kenzie.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah,
or
because especially in the cases of Tika and now Yanu, because those
the
two
purple tribe.
tribes, yeah, the purple tribes, those two tribes became were suddenly put in a very powerful position
Yeah.
because the other two tribes were a little bit more dominant. Were dominant. When the merge comes, it's gonna be those two tribes going against each other, right? Especially
Yeah.
that's what happened with Tika. It was the other two tribes going up against each other, and they were in the middle. They were in the power position. They decided who would go home, right? So
Right.
yeah, and Yano, with Yano so far we haven't seen it yet. I'm not sure if Nami was really planning that. Take out the Siga, right?
Mhm.
But I'm sure that is a possibility that Siga will retaliate, and
Yeah.
it's what Venus said. Give me a name and I'll give you a name.
I
Only
think,
thing is, she might be the name from Nami.
yeah.
I
The thing
think
is,
Venus is
she
the
is the
name.
name from Nami.
Yeah.
Although, like, there's a um, there's also the case to be made that the only reason that that Yanu was in such a position of power in this episode was because all three of them were safe.
Mm,
And so the only two like options you had were somebody from like Siga and somebody from Nami.
yeah.
So it would have been interesting to see if, it would have been interesting to see if Q Soda or not Soda, Q Tiff or Kenzie were in the losing tribe.
Hmm. Do
And
you
just to
think
see.
that the other two would have like, you know what? Let's keep our equal numbers. Let's take out the Yanu instead.
I mean that could be, right?
Yeah.
They could have very easily done that. Like that would have been the easy vote,
Hmm. Yeah.
you know. I mean that's kind of what happened last season, right? Like the Reba 4 just kind of stuck together.
Mm, yeah.
We were we were waiting for the Reba 4 to like break apart, but it never did.
Yeah.
And we could be seeing that with Ziga, right? Like they
Siga.
seem pretty strong. They seem pretty strong, except for
Yeah.
Tim, man. What the hell is Tim doing, dude?
I don't know. I mean, Tim with that stupid move, not telling Maria about the Journey 6 plan. That was,
Jeez.
and
Oh,
on top of that, he was trying to cover his ass. He was like, "Oh no, no, I did that on purpose. I didn't tell her because I wanted her to observe and whatever." Oh, come on, man. You just forgot to tell Maria.
the forgetful Tito. He's like that
Yeah.
archetype. He's that archetype.
Yeah.
I'm surprised really that he didn't that it wasn't Ben, right? Because like it was supposed to be him and Ben. So apparently we're not being shown
No,
something like.
well, apparently even Maria was surprised. Even Maria was surprised that it was her. Because she doesn't
Yeah.
have Tim as her number one.
Yeah, but
And
then like why was it not Tim and Ben? Like we could have seen, maybe I don't know, maybe they just didn't talk very much, and
yeah,
that's why we didn't see anything. But
yeah.
yeah, that's That's something about Tim. What are you doing, man? What are you
Uh,
doing?
I don't think that he has started playing the game yet. I don't think that he started playing. And I think, I mean, we did see like that one sequence early in the season where supposedly Tim and Maria bonded over their kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then
parents.
very clearly, Maria was like, I mean, I want to keep my options open.
Yeah.
And you know, really like kudos to Maria though. Like she was straight up like, yeah, I'm a, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Like very, very keep their options open. But
Mhm.
if this plus one alliance or whatever it's going to be called, if this particular alliance um actually becomes a thing, Maria is the crack in the alliance.
Mm. Yeah, because she's got. I mean, her actual number one is Charlie. So yeah,
Yeah, and we were given a flashback. We weren't given a flashback for
yeah,
the plus one alliance.
yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
We're
Like
giving a
we
flashback to
were given a
Salsa.
flashback. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh, this is one thing. And I don't know if it was also in season 45, or was it in Survivor Australia, where the ones who went on the meal, or well, it's since it's Survivor US, it has like splits, right?
Yeah.
For who's on merchant, who's not. Why do they never clean up before eating? I've been complaining.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
They eat
It's
up with
never
mud in their faces and their hands, and they still eat. I'm like, come on,
yeah.
man.
I think
Why?
Jeff has addressed this at one point. I can't remember what it was. What his like reasoning was, but I'm sure you know he had some sort of reasoning, and I remember it being one of those in one ear out the other because I thought it was dumb.
Yeah.
Whatever that reasoning was.
Yeah, because they can't properly celebrate. They're they're dirty. I mean, they're already dirty because they haven't been washing up properly for 11, 12 days, right? And
Yeah.
then you put them through the mud. I mean, I get the whole thing, like the whole you go through there's a symbolism there about being just like how in the first episode they have to go through mud, right? And I'm sure
Yeah.
that this
In
is
the
another
merge,
kind
they
of
have to.
rebirth, right? Uh,
Yeah. The mud is the placenta, basically.
yeah, or something like that. That's why they have that net thing, right? That's why they have that
Yeah.
net
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
Who, by the way, Liz Roos was like blazing through that net. Uh, overtook Q, I think, was that?
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Watch out.
but yeah,
Challenge beast lose.
yeah, Liz, surprise challenge beast. But yeah, I really do not get why they don't get clean up after winning. You're winners, but you're dirty winners. I don't know. You're eating with your hands that are
It's the
caked in mud.
it's the filth of success.
Ugh,
So, damn it, Jeff. Just give them a bath, man.
The filth of success.
the
You know,
filth
I
of
was going to suggest that perhaps this particular episode could have been called "Hello, Fellow Human," but no, the filth
Yeah,
of
that would have been
success seems
awesome.
like a better episode title.
Okay, so yeah, so any other thoughts, guys?
A lot of thoughts, like I said.
Uh
Hello, fellow human. Amazing
Yes.
line.
Hello, hello.
Uh,
Hello.
you know, here's I alluded to having like one thing that I felt was quite the high, and that was that everybody had to do the puzzle. I have
huh.
one thing here that is very clearly a low.
All right.
We never got to see Mo and Liz talk.
True. And we're never gonna see it. We're
Right?
never
Maybe
gonna see it.
because
Like you know, it's sort of like you've never seen Bruce Wayne and Batman in the same room.
Mm.
right.
Like you know, you never see Superman and Clark Kent in the same room. You never got to see Mo and Liz like talk to each other.
Mhm.
It's it's my in my head canon, they're still the same person.
He just
Who?
added an extra in that shot where it's all the people that tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no,
It's
it's
camera
it's
trick.
Yeah, what's it called? Chromatic aberration or something?
You never know. You never know. You never know. When in next episode you're gonna see that Liz has curly hair. Yeah, she won't. She's gonna start talking about playing the Dungeons and Dragons. You know, but she's Liz, supposedly.
For some unknown reason, she can't jump anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Properly.
She's gonna be completely unable to jump.
Like,
Mhm.
oh my god. He's been on both tribes the same time all this time.
Mhm.
Yeah, or we find out next week that it was actually Liz that was voted out in this
Mm.
particular episode, and it was like Mo was just there all along, safe.
Oh my god. That's a bit of mind-boggling thing that will ever happen in Survivor. They'll totally confuse me like a goat on AstroTurf.
Hey,
Okay. Huh? What? Dear God, that's right. Yeah.
What's right?
Oh well, we'll never see it anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, is she gonna be the first part of the jury?
No,
No.
no, no, no.
Whoa. Yeah, we'll never see that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because so now they're
Yeah.
down to 11. It's the next person who's gonna be the first member of the jury.
That's one of the complaints that I have about this new season or the past couple of seasons. If they are going to do a split tribal again next week, which it looks like they are, like they didn't need to merge.
Yeah.
Because basically what we had was a tribe swap, and next week we're gonna have another tribe swap,
Another tribe swap.
and then
Yeah.
we have the merge, right? So I don't know. I'm just just a little nitpick. I mean, it's like, yeah, I guess,
It's a valid. No, it's a valid complaint. I think.
yeah, but like I guess I can just view it as they aren't merged yet. It was like, they had a tribe swap. They did an immunity challenge. One tribe was immune, the other tribe wasn't. But it's like a one world sort of situation going on. And next week there's just another tribe swap, and both tribes go to tribal, and then that's
Yeah.
a way to make it more palatable, I guess. But
Yes.
it's something I find kind of annoying. You know, it's like it's like it's like calling a ground invasion a special military operation.
Is this for
No,
democracy?
this is not. This is not. This is not an invasion. We're just doing our operations. Yeah.
It's a matter of
we're just
perspective. It's a matter of
yeah.
perspective.
We're just at the border. We're just doing some operations at the border. Yeah. So anyway, other thoughts?
Alright.
Because I'm
Yeah. Like I said, nothing to write home about.
Hashtag justice for Venus.
Venus was right.
Oh well,
Venus
yeah,
was Venus was
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
Although like what's it? Mo going home is probably one of the best things for Venus's game overall.
Ironically,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's one thing that I wanted to talk about perception. Because they have all these things. I mean, we had several things of those things happening in this episode. You've got Tim thinking that Maria is his number one, but when in fact Maria doesn't perceive it that way. They don't perceive.
Oh my
She
God.
doesn't perceive them as being close, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she even thinks that he's number three or number four
Oh
in
wow.
terms of being
Yeah.
close to her, right? And then
Yeah.
and then we had another example of that with Venus saying that, Mo, she's a good girl, she's a good kid. I really relate with her and yada yada yada. And then we to use Zhao's thing, we juxtapose it with Mo saying that, you know what, Venus, she's deadly. We need to take her out. Perception with different perspectives, and all of these things. We see a lot of that happening in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing, right? Like, Maria said it very well, where she's here to play her game and not to play Tim's game.
Mm-hmm.
So like, a lot of the time when I talk about, this player was right or this player was wrong, it's always from the point of view of the players that I like, because like I do realize that uh something might have been the right move for somebody's game, but it might have been the exact wrong move for somebody else's game. So, you know, I suppose just to put it kind of up front, um, and everybody that listens to this show knows this. Uh, Kenzie is my canonical winner pick, and
Okay.
like, um, Venus is my it's like a head heart thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although in this case, I guess they're both heart picks, but there we go. My canonical winner pick is Kenzie. My Elseworld winner pick is
Is Venus.
is Venus. And if I say something is right or wrong, like it is for either of their games. So like Venus did the exact right thing for her game
Mm.
is what I'm gonna say. And another thing that I wanted to bring up, and this has to do with tribal, is Charlie made a low key like amazing move by throwing a stray vote, by throwing the stray vote.
Oh, was he the straight?
The one
Oh,
who voted for Venus. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Charlie that voted for Venus. Um,
Mhm.
and that was a really smart move that I think a lot of people overlooked. Um, and the reason it was such a smart move was because, I mean, the obvious, like, if the shot in the dark hits,
mm.
then what's going to happen? They need to have another vote somewhere else. And he knew that since his name was being whispered, right? He alluded to that his name was being whispered. He needed to put a vote somewhere else in case there was a successful shot in the dark play. So it's
Yeah,
one of those like real subtle things that, like, I guess wasn't given like the time of day is like, whoa, what a brilliant strategy move. Or it could happen next week where like they talk about it as a great strategy move where Venus is like, he put my name down, and like that was a great strategic play for him. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that as well as yeah, I wanted to highlight that as well. Great strategic move from Charlie. You can tell that he's playing the game.
yeah. No, I do think that uh there are some castaways in the other tribes that do know how to play. It's just they haven't been given a chance yet. Not as much as the
Yeah.
Yano three, right? But yeah, you've got Charlie and Maria actually. They are playing the game, and I don't know if Tevin is actually playing the game. I don't quite see it yet from Nami. I think it's more
Yeah.
Siga. Siga is the more they were the vibe tribe, but you can see that they are the ones who actually also play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what's it? Venus is playing,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and Venus is playing from Nami. And I think that might be like one of the problems because she's being perceived as playing too hard because
Yeah.
she is being juxtaposed against the rest of Nami that doesn't seem to be playing very much.
Mhm.
So
them playing Nami. To go
Yeah.
soda.
And the last tribal related thing, um, there's a rather elaborate set that has this like vaguely Chinese, tremendously out of place aesthetic. And I figured that it would be funny to have a vaguely Chinese, out of place aesthetic.
Can't say.
Just to kind of highlight the absurdity of the tribal council set this particular season.
And
It's not
again,
Polynesian, man.
it's not. It's not even. I mean, yeah, yeah, because not even pagodas are like Polynesian, right? Yeah. And
It's like,
again, where are the lizards? They only came out in the first episode.
yeah,
The lizards are so prominent in the logo, but
Aegean Island,
yeah. They should have had lizards like at the voting booth or whatever. Just like that medieval thing where they had where they had all of the weapons and stuff. But yeah, Survivor production went a little too far west this time, right? Because like, you you go up until around, I guess, part of like peninsular Southeast Asia. Perhaps Thailand might even be pushing it a little, right? To say, um, have a sort of Thailand aesthetic, but I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Anyway,
I'm going to accept like everything from Fiji all the way over to like the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, that sort of aesthetic. But, they,
if you
they went a
go
little,
China
yeah, they went a little too
northwest,
northwest. They went a little too northwest.
If
yeah,
I may have a little story that's
It
similar
gets
to
cold
this,
in China. It doesn't get
there you
cold in
go.
Fiji.
Right? Yeah.
It doesn't
Speak-
snow in Fiji.
Yeah, speaking of that, man, like it does seem like that one buffet that has a particular food, like example, we went to this buffet this weekend. The focus should be on local Filipino food, right?
okay.
Guess what's part of the buffet aside from the
What?
local Filipino food? There's siopaw, there's hot dog. Okay, hot dog, okay, because we eat that for breakfast, but siopaw and sangyup and sushi. That's a Pinoy buffet now, I guess.
I mean, I
Also,
can, I can, yeah, I can kind of see, like sangyup, right, which is just pork, right?
Yeah,
Like,
pork.
yeah,
like that's just pork chop that's grilled. That's
Yeah.
bro, that's
Mhm.
Cebu. Like our entire like
Ah,
agriculture industry here is just pork.
That's good.
pork.
Like we have so many piggeries here. It smells really bad. Uh, uh what was it like? But sushi is kind of, I don't think that works. What was the other thing? Shopao is
Siopaw.
quite like,
Chopo, yeah.
it's you hit up Binondo, like there's Shopao everywhere, and I would think that a lot of it is very Chinese Filipino, you know. Um, but sushi, that's something that,
Yeah.
just kinilaw, man, kinilaw.
Yeah. I just had kinilaw. For those who do not know what kinilaw is, it's the closest thing is ceviche. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah.
the closest thing to what a kinilaw is for those who are not
It's kill all of the germs with vinegar.
familiar with vinegar.
Yeah.
Anyway, other thoughts, gentle.
No.
All right.
Next episode's good.
Okay, let's go ahead to our predictions for this episode.
Okay.
First, whose line is it actually? The title was Cancel Christmas. Again, I did not catch it. Someone on Nobuff said it was Kenzie. Was it?
You got it, Joe?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know. If it was Kenzie, I get the point.
Right? I
I'm
didn't
gonna take the
I,
point.
I didn't pay attention, but Joe, you get the point.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it anymore. I don't want to think about
Apparently it was Kenzie. I don't know. I don't know when or where because even during my rewatch, I did not notice anyone saying it.
Yeah, me
Was
too.
the
But
episode
then I don't know. I might have been.
so mid?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Admittedly,
Yeah.
I was having dinner when I watched it, so
It's not
much to
necessarily like you're not like
Yeah.
totally focused on who's saying the line.
yeah.
Uh
But then, like my rewatch, I tried to focus. I really did, but
Still, yeah, it's hard. It's they're catching on to us doing this thing about figuring out who says the line.
I took notes and everything. But it must have happened when I looked over to like our little chat group, and Martin was saying like, "So are we recording at 9 or 10?" Like, I was listening to Martin and not to Kenzie.
So I got the line, Kenzie. I get the point.
All
Anyway,
right. So I predicted
what other predictions do we have?
I predicted that this is where the season picks up. I don't know if I'm gonna get. I don't know. Should I get the point for that?
I don't think that we can give you the
This is
point.
where the season went mid.
No, I mean like
Yeah, it's still there. It
yeah,
hasn't
it's still there.
gone.
It hasn't.
Yeah,
It hasn't. Yeah. Um.
I mean it hasn't
What
gone
else?
down, but it does
Yeah,
not.
it's
Yeah,
just
I went with a Hunter will have to lose or sit out individual immunity to get the idol. Um. No, man.
no.
no.
Because he got the idol before he had to do the instructions.
Whoa.
Mhm.
The gimme point was there's going to be a big boulder / spherical thing in the challenge
Spherical thing.
that
You
they
got
had
that?
to.
I didn't get that because I wanted the whole thing where they have to go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like that was I also hedged it there, right? Because that's why it was like a spherical thing.
Oh, true,
Because
true. But you had originally thought of the like really just the boulder, right?
yeah, the big boulder, either they push
Yeah,
it around or they climb it or whatever.
yeah.
Or that they had to push, right? So in this case, they, you know,
They pushed
yeah,
up.
basically.
Yeah.
So I get the easy
Yeah.
point for that. Um, Martin's only prediction that I have listed here is that Tevin would get the line.
Yeah. Wait, did I say the long term was Seagull will slowly, get what? Because I want the Nami guys to stay in the merge a bit longer. But I think that prediction's already done after the last episode.
Mm.
Well, we're
They
not
did?
yet. We're not there yet. I mean,
Yeah.
there's still some Sega left.
Yeah.
Right. Joel's prediction was the line would go to Soda. The
Mhm.
Shillelagh of Time makes a triumphant return,
Oh,
and
thank
Soda
God.
breaks it. It would have been awesome. It would have been
Mhm.
awesome if the Shillelagh made a triumphant return in this
Soda
particular episode.
breaks the glass.
Like triumphant would have been a very good adjective to
Mhm.
describe it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't make a triumphant
Because
return.
I was inferring from the foreshadowing of Jelinski throwing the
Oh,
that hourglass.
because
I
he's
Yeah.
was
so
like,
epic.
that was a foreshadowing. They were foreshadowing it. Yeah, it's coming back. No, of course not.
Tapos
Anyway,
your prediction for Hunter was he had to get stuff from other tribes as part
yeah.
of his task to get
Summoners.
the idol, which would have been awesome, actually. Like I think we booked it better than Survivor.
Yeah. They should have helped them do you know,
Mm.
the production things.
Mm.
Right? Like thinking about it, right? And this is sort of results oriented, which isn't exactly the best way to think about Survivor and what's good and what isn't. But like if the Beware Advantage instructions once they had merged would have been that Hunter has to lose or sit out an individual, or lose or sit out immunity to get the idol. It would have been interesting to see the dynamic with the way that the Rock draw went for the Earn the Merge challenge, right? Or the
Mhm.
Earn the the Earn the Merge challenge, because you would have one of the big guys sandbagging,
Mhm.
and that would have been really cool. But you know, I don't know.
Ultimately, it
That's
didn't happen.
It's all good.
ultimately it didn't happen. There's an alternate universe. There is an else world where that happened. And perhaps that is the else world where Venus is my winner pick. Or
Mhm.
Venus is my canonical winner pick.
Perhaps, perhaps.
And
Yeah.
those were our predictions from last episode.
Alrighty. Let us go ahead and start off with whose line is it? Actually, next episode is called Episode Several.
We're at the several episodes already.
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh
this is
my
going to be
God.
this is gonna be one of those instances where they don't pull the episode title from something that they said on
Mhm.
the show, like in the episode, because it's been known to happen
Oh
in the
Mm.
past,
shit.
right? So I don't think anybody is going to say episode several. I think it was just one of the producers that was like, bro, we have
Seven.
to.
We have
Like,
to.
No, no. Jelinski's gonna say it.
Yeah, I actually have that as a note. I'm gonna go way to the other side.
If they're
Chilinsky is
gonna
gonna make another appearance, and he's
oh my God,
gonna
he's a loved one. He's a
yeah.
loved one. Who's loved one? Everyone. That's
He's
just
gonna
kidding.
show up. They bring him back to like do a survivor auction type thing, right?
Holy shit.
Survivor auction. You can bid for a few words with someone. They don't say who it is, and all of a sudden it is
Jelinski.
Jelinski. He comes out. Come on out, and then you got Jelinski coming out. Hey, this is epic, man. Yeah, I'm a legend.
Q was
Right?
like, no, no.
But anyway, yeah. But yeah, I think you're right, Joe. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think
it's
it's actually someone else is gonna be gonna say it this time.
it would be
but
so messed up.
but you're still saying that it's gonna be Jelinski and he gets the line.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, swinging for the fences.
Of course.
Mart, whose
Yeah,
line is it actually?
like I said, Jelinski.
So both of us have Jelinski coming back in one way or another.
They have to give the people what they want.
Give
Give us what we want.
even if
Oh,
it's
oh,
like a
he
flashback.
Yeah.
no. They're gonna go meta, right? So the episode happens, and then all of a sudden it cuts to Jelinski doing confessional. What episode is it? Is it already episode several? Right. So what's happening right now? What's happening right now? And it cuts back into the game.
This is how we get the Ponderosa videos back.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gotta be. Anything otherwise would be like poor form, poor form.
Anything else would just be the producers picking on Jelinski. They're just bullying him at that point.
You have
So
to work for that money, Jelinski.
what's likely going to happen is split, right? Obviously, we know that there's going to be a split tribe. Um, there are going to be two people that are voted out, at least according to Jeff. And I'm going to say that what happened last season is the same thing that's going to happen this season, where the first tribal person is voted out, the second tribal, the person that's voted out is the first member of the jury.
Oh, okay. So there's only one juror in this episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, is that what happened also last season?
Or was it 2 seasons ago?
I forgot, guys. Like,
Yeah.
man, it could work, but that sucks for the guy who gets voted out first in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
in the second tribal person voted out is first juror.
If Jelinsky can come back, my next prediction would be they'll finally give us a Ponderosa video this season after that episode. I hope it works. I don't know. Just shooting it out there. Survivor production. Give us what we want. If you can't give us Jelinsky, give us at least a small modicum of what we want, a Ponderosa video.
And none of the Ponderosa videos that we got that were like 2-minute TikTok videos.
Oh yeah, no. I want like the 5-minute ones, the usual, before the pandemic kind of thing.
Yeah, like what was what is it called? The jury villa in Australian Survivor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one other prediction I'm making is that mainly because of the blunder of one of them, I don't think that the Journey 6 is long lived. Yeah.
So the Journey 6 falls apart next episode?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And it's gonna be mainly because of Tim. I want to pile on him.
I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
Damn it, Tim.
I'm still, of course, going to predict that this is where the season picks up. The revenge arc of
Venus.
Venus.
Although you gotta give her kudos for like being able to. Well, number one, she was able she held her own in tribal, and stayed quiet enough for Mo to dig her own grave.
Yeah. Oh my God, Bo, that was so. Oh my God. That's something I forgot to ask you guys. What did you think of her like little Hail Mary her little Hail Mary speech in Tribal, where she was like, "Actually, guys, this is what happened last time."
I don't know. I don't know if it worked. Well, it definitely didn't work, but I don't know if it would have worked in any situation. I don't think in any situation.
I was thinking like that could have been the thing that made it a near unanimous vote.
True.
Yeah. Because I could see a world where there were, a few more votes thrown the way of Venus. But after like Mo posed that, people were like, wait a second. This isn't somebody that I want on my side. This is more like unpredictable than Jelinsky.
Yep.
Or no, more unpredictable than Banu.
It's like Banu all over again for the purple tribe. Like, oh no. We're voting you out now.
Yeah. Like,
and I mean Q already had his misgivings about Mo prior to that.
Yeah. But like that wasn't a very strategic play, I don't think.
Yeah.
Which kind of defeats what Q was saying, but I don't know.
It was born out of desperation, what Mo did. I mean, like you said, it was a Hail Mary. And yeah, just that the prayer wasn't answered.
Yep. Yeah. You see, we should be praying to Vishnu. She should have been praying to Vishnu. She shouldn't have been asking the intercession of the Virgin Mother, right?
I mean, I don't know.
The shot of the shot in the dark might have hit. And she could
might have
been,
hit.
She could have been flying on the wings of Garuda at this point.
Oh wow, Garuda!
I don't know. I'm pulling out like all of the Hindu knowledge. All of the Hindu stuff that I know. So yeah, season picks up, the Venus revenge arc begins. Yeah.
I feel like Venus will have a blow up with someone in camp, but
Ooh.
I don't know who. But it's gonna be like the Alicia Kim thing that, oh, do not wave your finger at me like that. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's probably going to be, if that does happen, it's going to be Tevin or Soda.
Soda. Okay.
Right.
No, but I
I've-
mean, she and Soda had a sort of spat this episode,
yeah,
right?
yeah. What I found interesting was that wasn't foreshadowed in any of the previous episodes, as much as like because most of what we were getting about her relationship with the rest of the tribe was
Mhm.
that Tevin doesn't like her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
actually.
And this rift with Soda wasn't something that was foreshadowed very much in the first six seasons, in the first six episodes, is either which is either bad storytelling, or it is the thing that's setting up something else.
Well, they did have that sequence where like Soda was like, "I'm not gonna talk to you as much now." Right? When Soda surmised that Venus was on the outs with the rest
Yeah,
of Nami, she decided that she was not gonna talk to Venus as much anymore. Because I
yeah,
mean, Venus also alluded to that. We used to talk a lot, and then we stopped talking or something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
They don't talk anymore like they used to.
yeah.
yeah,
But like, like I said, like if anything explosive was gonna happen, the thing that was better set up was Venus and Tevin. So
Devin.
this
Yeah.
might be continuing to set up for something bigger down the road, but
Mm.
I don't know. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking. Here's hoping that that Survivor production is as good as Triple H has been in booking wrestling this past like year.
Mm.
Dear God, I love pro wrestling.
Apparently the WWE has like a whole new era thing going on as well. So
It's a Renaissance era.
yeah. So like, people are calling it like the new era of wrestling or whatever. And so we have like, I know that there's a lot of crossover between wrestling fans and Survivor
Survivor
fans,
fans.
right? So, there's something interesting. Yeah. I know I had another prediction. I just can't remember what it is. That's why I've been just blabbing on, trying to pull it from the depths of my memory.
What about you, Mars? Any other predictions?
I think, yeah, for me, it would be there should be a Jelinski callback aside from the title episode. Yeah, Venus will have a blow up with somebody in the tribe. And I think that's it for me. Oh, right. Ponderosa video. Please have a Ponderosa video.
Okay. All right. I personally don't have any other predictions about coming up in the next episode.
Apart from the Journey 6 falling apart
Journey sucks falling apart. Yep.
Six.
because of because of Tim.
Damn it,
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
So
I get the feeling that it isn't like part of it obviously was Tim like not seeming to care too much about it. But it might also be because he doesn't care too much about it, if that makes sense. Like he doesn't need it in the merge as much as say Q needs it in this merge situation. So like,
Oh yeah, because I mean, technically, it was Tim who was also like pushing for Siga Strong, right?
yeah,
So he's got that Siga Strong thing. So he does not see the value yet of having an alternative alliance. Meanwhile, you've got Maria wanting to keep things open, keep her
yeah,
options open. So she's good with Siga Strong, she has this inner alliance with Charlie, and she's open to the idea of the Journey Six.
Yeah.
That's good gameplay.
Right? She's like an onion, dude. She's like an onion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Several
like,
layers.
yes, several layers. That's a really small onion. A several layer onion.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a theory that that's
Mm.
something that I'm putting out there. Well, this is more valuable to Q than it is to Tim because in the merge situation, there's only 3 Yanus.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's Q who wanted to touch base right away with the Journey Six. He
Hmm.
was the one who approached Hunter. It wasn't Hunter who approached him. It was him.
Yeah.
But it's curious that he approached Maria and not Tim first,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because if that had been the case, if he was checking to see if the people he made alliances with actually went through with their alliances, he would have approached Devin first, right?
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
So I guess here's that last prediction. Um, that Q will get put in the line of fire very briefly lang because
Mm-hmm.
it was alluded to in the next time on, and most of the next time on stuff is pretty much a red herring. But let's just say that he's put in the line of fire very briefly, in the same way that Charlie was put in the line of fire this episode very briefly. And the reason that he will be put in the line of fire is because he's going to be perceived as overplaying.
Mm.
Because I feel like that's what he's doing. Like it
Yeah.
feels like he's overplaying, at least in terms of what we are being shown as an audience through his confessionals and all of the shots that they show him in. Like it very well could be that the rest of the tribe doesn't see him like overplaying, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, where during the sequence where that he was talking to Mo, that was to Mo and Tim, right? It was no, it was Venus who was talking to both Mo and Tim. So this one, he was just talking to Mo
Yeah.
because I'm getting at the idea that maybe Tim saw that kind of behavior from Q,
Uh-huh.
and that's what made him distrust Q.
Mm.
Thus making it so convenient he forgot to tell Maria about the Journey Six plan. Right. So yeah, but anyway, yeah. That's different. It's a different story. Anyway, yeah. Any other things? So let's go ahead to survivors of the week. Who do
Yes,
you
sir.
have for castaway of the week?
Uh
Yeah.
Kenzie.
Kenzie by default.
Yeah.
Kenzie.
Kenzie by default. Maybe Venus. There's a case to be made for Venus as
Mhm.
well. Because she didn't get voted out. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And she
and
she she well actually she's my castaway of the week because I think that she was able to stand up for herself very well, pretty well.
yeah,
Especially in tribal. Her performance in tribal was pretty good. She was able and she had that smile of triumph as
yeah,
when she realized that it's Mo going home. Right? Yeah.
yeah. That
How
that
about
was that was so adorable.
mhm.
That smile of triumph, like it reminds me of when I see like a student that doesn't feel like they're gonna do well on a test, and like you give them back their test paper and they look at it and they don't want to make such a big deal out of the fact that they got higher than they thought that they would, but they
Mhm.
just can't contain their smile. Like that's what it reminded
Uh,
me of. you know?
Yeah. True. True. That's right. What about you, Marts?
Maybe Hunter, because he got you know, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got
Oh.
Sorry, this episode's the same.
he got the idol.
Yeah, the idol. Like that.
He got the idol. He managed to be safe
Mm.
at the tribal that he didn't have a
Without a
vote.
vote.
Yeah.
So good job, Hunter. Yeah.
All right. So next, dude, we have a goat of the week.
Everyone else, because you're all just kidding. Just kidding. No, I feel like Tim. I'm sorry. It's just damn it.
I do have the same like person as goat of the week, bro, Tim, because of
Yeah.
because of not telling, because of just overall like not great gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? What the hell?
Yeah.
That was
Not
that was terrible.
Tim.
Right? It's just like
Yeah.
it's like in my notes here, it's in all caps and it's bolded. What are you doing, Tim?
He wants to, let Maria figure things out. I don't does
Or is he a
not
mind
know what he's.
reader? She's a mind reader. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn
Yeah. I
it.
also have him as my goat of the week. I also have him as my goat.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No need to feel sorry, Martin. He deserves to be goat of the week.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
only one who is goated.
That's Jelinski. Anyway, purple
There you go.
purple of the week. What do we have for
I
purple
feel
of the week?
bad. I didn't see much of my canonical winner pick, Tiffany. Much aside from winning, but as is, my canonical winner pick should be winning anyway, as expected. Picked the winning team.
Mhm. What about you, Joe?
Disappeared.
Um I Liz? But then
Mhm.
at the same time, Liz
would be
got
both.
voted out, right?
Yeah. Damn it.
They're the same person. Or
Yeah.
maybe like Tevin's humanity, right? Because I really now truly believe that he's an alien. Because only an alien would say hello, fellow humans.
Exactly.
In the same way that it's only like a middle-aged Tito that's going to
Mhm.
say, "Hey there, fellow
Fellow
kids.
kids.
Hello, kid.
Hello there, fellow young people."
Mhm.
Like I know that well enough to know that he isn't a fellow human. He's like an alien. He's like an alien that's coming down, and like he probably saw something like, if you want to understand human culture, you look at the microcosm of society, and you do that by looking at this game show called Survivor. And so he's
Survivor.
like, Survivor.
Oh
So
my
like, you know,
god.
I believe that he is an alien, right? We're talking
Uh-huh.
about like conspiracy theories and stuff with like the logos or whatever from Rob Has a Podcast. My conspiracy theory is that Tevin is an alien because only an
Heaven.
alien would say hello, fellow humans. But I suppose my actual purple of the week is Liz.
Mm. Okay. All right. Well, for me, and I don't know why, but I actually miss it. I miss Ben. Ben was hardly
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
We
yeah,
didn't have any rock and roll. We didn't have any rock and roll illusions.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. So
So
yeah,
I suppose the rock and roll puns.
yeah. The
Yeah,
this does not rock. The there was that was this episode, right? The this does not rock line
Yeah.
that was
This is not
yeah.
yeah
That
when they
was
were
this
when they
episode,
were
wasn't it? Yeah,
yeah
yeah,
yeah. This
yeah.
definitely does not rock, but it wasn't him who said it. I don't think it was him who said it even.
Was it Jeff?
Was it Charlie
No,
saying it on his
Oh
behalf or
shit.
something?
maybe, maybe,
Oh yeah.
maybe,
Okay.
It was like,
maybe.
this sounds like something Ben would say. This
Yeah,
does not
This is
rock, and then look straight at Ben. Like, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
The frailty of human memory is a very real thing. I only
yeah.
watched the episode twice, so that's how I'm choosing to remember it.
All right. Any other thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Um, as is the case for most of this season so far, I'm enjoying our conversations about the episodes a lot more than I'm
More than the
enjoying the
episode.
episodes themselves.
Mhm.
And so for that, I would like to thank you guys very much.
Thanks.
And to
Same here.
anybody that's listening, I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am.
as we are
As we
discussing
are.
about something that we definitely enjoy watching, but not as much as we enjoy talking about it. All right.
But guys,
Anyway. Mhm.
you know what will we enjoy more, dear listeners, if you do subscribe to both the YouTube and the audio version.
There you go. Yes, of
There you go.
course. Of course. There you go. Anyway, that is it for this episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you do hit the like button and just like what Martin said, subscribe both to the YouTube channel and the the podcast.
Wherever
Right?
you get your podcast.
Wherever you get your podcast, subscribe. At any rate, this has been Joel Park On.
I'm Jao, and I will see you next week, fellow kids.
This is still Martin, or is it Martin? Yeah, this is still Martin.
All right. We hope to see you on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, mga kalaro. The Titos have spoken.